Around here, I'm more the responsible one. I'm not bragging or anything, but that's just my personality, I guess. It's usually up to me to make sure everything gets done.
So Lydia, what do you like to do for fun?
Well, I'm not sure.
And then there's Moriah.
Hey.
She's 16.
Moriah is... Go ahead.
You know, Moriah can be opinionated.
I've always been really different than the rest of my family. Nothing against my parents. Like, I love my parents, but I don't agree with everything they say and think.
I love freedom. And I like being crazy. I love having fun. Mariah's preoccupied with listening to music and doing her makeup. Yeah.
Hosanna and Lydia are more like the perfect ones.
She's wired differently.
It's not so much rebellion. It's more, if you say I can't, I will do it just to prove that I can.
And then there's Micah. Micah's now 18.
I don't see him ever having a desk job. He loves physical labor, farming.
He works hard. He is a very hard worker.
I personally wouldn't like living in a big town. So I like being outside of a small town. Wouldn't even like living inside a small town. Past 3 years, I started getting cows. I'm up to 12 and got some of them bred. Cows are pretty low maintenance, as long as they stay in their pen.
Our oldest daughter, Hosanna, she's 20, and she got married recently, and now she's living in Ohio. It's kind of the joke in the family. Hosanna's almost perfect. Hosanna had a college that offered a scholarship for her to do music. But what does she need college for? She's learning more by doing right now than she ever would sitting behind a desk in a college, learning head knowledge.
Ethan is our oldest. He's 21, and he just got married to Olivia 6 months ago.
I have waited for this day for almost 4 years. Olivia and I decided to get married on my parents' farm. I just thought it was a good way to say goodbye to where I grew up. And she was just the most beautiful sight ever in her little dress.
You're in love.
Ethan, you may kiss your bride.
That kiss. They're so sweet. You can tell they practiced it.
So we've gone through this transition. He's got his own house, he and Olivia, and they're on their journey.
It's approximately 10 to 15 minutes from the farm where I grew up. A lot of times we feel like it's too close. Probably should have moved a little further away. So, honey.
Yeah.
What has it been like to live with me?
Really fun. Except for when you steal all the blankets.
Or when I leave all my socks all over the house.
Yeah, that too. When I moved out of the house, like, it wasn't such a big shock for me, versus I think it was a bigger shock for you.
Yeah, I remember the first job I had, was working as a mechanic, and I was 18 years old, and I had never heard a single cuss word in my life. And I go to work with these guys, and they're like, bleep, 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 you know, throwing tools around and all, and I'm like, Mommy!
Be honest, what's it like to live with me?
Well, the past 6 months have definitely been the best 6 months of my life. I mean, independence is nice and all, but then to have someone to share it with is just very, very nice.
When Ethan and I first got married, I was really shocked at, like, the differences in how we grew up and how I would make, like, a movie reference or start singing a song. He'd say, I have no clue what that is, where is that from? And it was just a good reminder to me that even though we both grew up in conservative homeschool families, people do things so different.
Where's that quote from?
From Cinderella. Do you recognize it? Really? I took him to his first basketball game. I took him to his first time in the movies. Since we've gotten married, it's been a long process of like introducing him to all these different things and just like letting him get his feet wet and see what he thinks about stuff.
Olivia has introduced me to some TV shows. She watched more TV growing up than I did. We didn't ever watch TV shows. One of the big ones that we've been watching lately is Friends. It's a really funny one, I like that. Ross is a little monkey, and I think my favorite actor in Friends would be Chandler. He kind of seems like he does stuff I would do.
I have a question for you. Since you've moved away from the farm, do you think that like life there has changed at all for the rest of them?
Yeah.
I know Moriah really misses you at the farm. Obviously, we're our own family, and we're gonna do things the way we choose to do them, and we allow a lot of different things in our home that his parents wouldn't, and that's just a personal choice. When we got married and we moved in here and, you know, we had alcohol in the home, that was a big source of tension. We'd want to go out for ice cream, and that would create conflict, because then it would be like, well, you shouldn't be eating sugar. And we'd be like, well, we're adults. We can make that decision ourselves. It looks funny to see you drinking out of a cup that says hers.
By the time I was 20 years old, I had never had a Coke before. I really had no idea what it would taste like.
I took a video of it. I'll remember it forever.
Yeah. This is my first Coke. That's really good.
Take it. Cheers.
I liked it. I really did like it. I saved my little can. I'm gonna like write the date on it. And 20 years old, my first Coke. I liked it.